Ed Pankow. So, Ed, if a person's looking for an old buddy or someone they were with in the military or someone they went to high school with, neighbors, old friendships, they can find them?
Sure. Today, everything we do is on computer, or it's in a public record database, or we find some information that individually identifies them. If you're a bowler, every week your bowling averages go to the American Bowling Congress. If you're a nurse, you're in the nursing records. But we have many ways of finding people that haven't seen each other for 10, 20, or 30 years.
What are some of the first steps a person should take if they want to find someone?
Well, the first thing you should do is call your old high school and see if they've ever had a reunion, and get a list of the reunion committee's list of people who have been there before. That's one of the easiest ways to find them.
What are some of the available resources we have at our fingertips that can help us begin to locate a lost love or anyone that we'd like to get in touch with?
Well, one of the very easiest ones is the phone book. Basically, you can call, find people with the same last name, see if they know them. And if that doesn't work, at the county courthouse, there's public records such as voter registration, marriage records, and others that give you someone's date of birth, their social security number, and helps us find them very quickly and very easily.
Now, you've been doing this for over 20 years, so how many people would you say that you've been able to hook up together?
Literally thousands.
Thousands, and they're not all very exciting. I remember when I was introducing Daryl, I thought that Martha was going to give me the neck, said, "What are you doing?" Tell us something that did not turn out so exciting.
Well, you'd never know. We had one where a woman found her lost love, her old boyfriend, and it just wasn't there anymore. They felt something 20 years ago, but they changed. She'd grown, he hadn't. It just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. Now, what about in terms of something exciting, something positive, and they live happily ever after?
Well, one of my very best ones was one where one of my investigators was having her hair done by a hairstylist, and the hairstylist told her how she was a young girl in France, and 30 years ago, her parents had pulled her apart from a young man that she married or wanted to marry, and they just pulled them apart because he was an American serviceman. And she looked for him for almost 30 years. She'd been in this country 7 years and couldn't find him. And while she's cutting the hair of my investigator, Teresa said, "I can find him in 3 days." And she said, "No, you can't." She said, "Yes, I can." And she found him. Christina went to the house, met him, and never came out. They were married several weeks later.
Do you have any trade secrets you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, there's a lot of little trade secrets, but the main thing is to find that one thing that makes the person special. If you can find their social security number, if you can find their date of birth, or if you just find something about them that makes them unique. And to keep on searching, because you'll find them. It's just a matter of time.
Have you ever tried to search for someone that you wanted to find and you weren't able to do that?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, my first love was a girl named Gail Levine. I met her.
I hope she's watching.
Well, I hope she is too. In 1965, when I was discharged from the Army, I went down to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and I met this girl, and she was truly my first love and probably the greatest love I ever had. And her parents came down, saw her, and they didn't want her to marry me. We were quite a bit different in many ways, and they thought that this wasn't going to work, so they brought her back to the States. And in 30 years, I've thought about her a lot, but I've never been able to find her. I even went back to the Virgin Islands to try and find her social security number from her old employer, but the records were destroyed in a fire.
Now, what is her name again?
Her name is Gail. It was
Gail, if you're watching this show, please call us. Ed wants to see you. When we return, a woman tries to find the man she loves on national television after these words.
Need to find somebody.
Is that right? Who's
Yes.
this person?
His initials are JSB. People who know us will know who he is. I think he lives somewhere in the Chicago area. I met him in high school, and this was like, oh, the first. Oh.
So, JSB, please call the Les Brown
And he has
Show.
something, and another clue, he has something, we have something in common that's very special, and it says taken, and he knows what it is.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yes.
Okay, my question is to Ed. I would like to know, how much do you charge for your service in order to help someone locate a loved one?
Well, in most cases, it costs $250 or less. The cost of locating someone has come down dramatically in the last few years because we have so much information available on computer today.
Hi, my question is for Dick's wife,
Anita?
Anita. I would like to know, how would you feel, or would you allow Dick and the young lady to go out on their own without you accompanying them?
Well, now.
Well, yeah. Gosh, sure, I guess so.
Thank you. You know, we met her. She just seemed a very secure and very positive person. So I knew what her answer would be. It was yes.
Although I might pack his bag.
What do you say?
I said, although I might pack his bag.
Jokingly, yes. Okay, now, Henrietta, you're looking for someone. Tell us about that someone you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for someone by the name of Ivan Bryce. He's been a very good friend of mine throughout my late teen years and early 20s. He went away to the service, and I haven't seen him in about 10 or 11 years.
Where did you live at that time?
Well, at that time, I lived in a town called Williamstown, New Jersey, and I think he lived in Glassboro at that time. I'm not really sure. But, well, every time he would come home from the service, he would try to find me. One time he did, I was working on a job, and he found where I was working at, came. We went out together, had a nice time, but it was like 2 days, I'm going to Germany. Are you coming with me? Sorry, I can't. So I haven't seen him since then, and I really would like to see him, to know how he's doing, what's going on in his life, and if he's single, not married, and
All
those
that kind of
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Ivan Bryce, listen, if you're watching this program, maybe somebody you might know him, have him call me at 1-800-291-2535. Thank you, Henrietta. If you're looking for a relative or a friend, what's the average length of time it takes to find someone with all of the technology that's available today to assist people in locating someone?
Well, if we've got some good information, we can usually find them within a week. Many times it takes just a day or two.
And this question is for you. Isn't it sometimes an invasion of privacy, or it sometimes could be the most selfish act for someone to look for a lost loved one if that person doesn't want to be found?
I really don't think so, because everybody is trying to find someone that they either care about or they have some unresolved issues. You can always say no, that I don't want to see you, but many people in their lives have a lot of things unresolved, and they do. They want to find them, and the way we find them is purely through the public record. We don't invade their privacy at all. We just identify the person and find them, and many times we'll just tell our client, send them a letter, say, here I am, would you like to see me? That's much better than having the shock of meeting them
But
the
what
first
about
time.
calling me and saying, hey, Les, there's somebody looking for you. Do you want this person to find you?
Exactly. The
I
same
mean, would
thing.
you do that?
Certainly.
Is that the part of your procedure?
Yeah, we can do that.
No, but do you do that?
Yes, we do.
Maybe John can answer my question. This expert's referring to real investigative work. I think I would get the creeps if I knew someone was doing that for 30 years or 25 years. And what was your reaction when you found out this person was seeking you?
Oh, I was flattered. At the time we split up, I was pretty hurt because she was married within like a month or two after we last saw each other. So.
Yes. Okay, we'll have more right after these words.